so that we all get a better sense of how rich and interesting our communities are. Today represents the first Wednesday in the National Black Business Month, which was created in 2004 by a black historian and a longtime black businessman to celebrate and support black-owned businesses and to push for good government policy that helps the more than 2 million businesses that people of color, those of us from across the African diaspora, that we currently own across this country. That figure comes from the U.S. Census Bureau, which is based on 2012 data. The census also said that Florida ranks second behind Georgia in the number of businesses owned by black people. That's in a country with 330 million total residents and 3.1 million of us, people from across the African diaspora, or as the U.S. Census calls us, blacks. That same year's data in 2012, the most current year available, said that here in Palm Beach County, black people own 35% of the 176,000 total businesses here, or about 61,000 total businesses. Now, the census calls that category minority owned, so I suppose that figure could include brown, red, yellow people as well, but we'll find out later when we talk to our guest if this data remains true today. And ladies and gentlemen, each Wednesday throughout this month, this Black Business Month, we'll talk with a local person of color who owns one of those more than 60,000 businesses and can talk about the ups and the downs and the sideways of what that experience is like day after day after day. Now, our guest today, though, will be able to tell us more about our businesses generally that are located in Palm Beach County. Grasford Smith is the current vice chair and president-elect of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County. He is an attorney licensed to practice in Florida, New York, Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Supreme Court, and he specializes in complex business litigation. Over his career, Attorney Smith has represented a highly diverse clientele, including Fortune 500 companies, government agencies, elected officials, and even a major league baseball team. Besides his work with the Black Chamber, though, Mr. Smith has also served as president of the Florida Association for Black Lawyers and is the current chair of the Minority Partners and Majority Law Firms Division of the National Bar Association. He is also a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, and interestingly, he is also Jamaican.
That's right. That's right.
Grasford Smith, president-elect of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County. Welcome to cocochats.
Thank you. Thank
Yay.
you. It's my honor to be here. Thank you. It's a great introduction. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
So tell us now, how long have you been involved with the Black Chamber of Commerce in Palm Beach County?
It's probably been close to about 8 years. When I came to this community back in 2008, identified the Black Chamber as one of those organizations that I need to be involved with. And I've been serving on the board in various capacities since then.
So why was it important for you, an attorney, to serve with the Black Chamber? I would think that you would, think of a Black lawyers group.
Well, I am involved in various Black lawyers
but,
groups,
yeah.
But I think it's important as well to be involved in the community. I am a business lawyer, so part of my business is to counsel business clients. So for me, it's an opportunity to network with and get opportunities to serve our local businesses here. So it's a great fit for me.
And so, can you tell how many members does the chamber have? I mean, does the numbers that I quoted from the census, does that make any sense to you?
Well, I think you're giving some big numbers, probably.
I know. I was like 61,000. Wow.
So in terms of the numbers, let me just sort of back it up and say, sure, the total number of Black businesses in the area. It's really difficult to say. There are various groups in the county that attempt to count up these groups, but we believe that the number of Black businesses in the area is probably somewhere around 14,000 in Palm Beach County. And of those, we have a few hundred members, But I'd say when we throw our events, sometimes we can bring out way more than that. And we're talking about paid members that are part of
Yeah.
our circle.
Yeah. And is there an area or business category that has the highest number of businesses that are members of the chamber?
What I'd say most definitively is that our members are primarily small businesses. Many of them are solo proprietors.
Wow.
And, having been to our events and seen the folks that we've honored over the years, they really run the gamut in products and services.
Yeah.
But mainly they are solo practitioners, or very, very small businesses.
And the reason I asked Attorney Smith is because when I was doing my research for today about our businesses and stuff, what I saw most of all was related to restaurants
Right.
and food. And I thought, wow, is that true? Do you think?
Yeah, I would say, anecdotally, I would say a lot of the folks that I come across are in the food service business, but like I said, it really runs the gamut. I've seen just about anything you could imagine. And even some of them, even though they're maybe a small business, they will work with other large businesses to bid on projects that perhaps their size doesn't allow them to be involved with. So you may see them involved with larger businesses as well.
And that helps to answer the question I was going to ask you, which is, what's the benefit for a really small business owner to join the chamber? And pay this monthly fee, and
That's right.
Blah,
Well, it's
blah,
not a
blah.
monthly fee.
Oh, what is it?
It's a yearly fee.
Oh,
But
was that fake news?
No.
Okay, don't tell our orange president. Okay.
But I mean, we definitely offer tremendous benefit to our members. I would say a big part of it is our resource team really tries to put together programming that is relevant to our businesses. So, for example, when the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, was obviously came into existence, a lot of people didn't know how to access those funds, and we put together programs to help folks with those areas. So what we try to do is to think about the things that are relevant and try to give programming and offer programming that is useful. We've actually started a thing that we call Wednesday Wisdom, and we've been doing various of those programs online. Our next one is actually coming up on April 12th, rather on August 12th.
Oh, okay.
And
I was going to say April.
we're going to have a judge come in and talk about business issues in the context of the legal system.
Oh.
So you should
But
definitely
that should interest
check
Attorney
that out.
Smith.
Yeah, indeed. So we try to assess what our membership needs and then provide them programming that is geared towards them.
And I guess that's probably what y'all's focus is, though, is to come up with, events and activities and information that
Indeed.
will benefit.
Yes, so events, those type of informational opportunities. And another thing that we've done a really good job of over the years is advocacy. So one of the things that you're probably familiar with is in this county, various of the municipalities, the school district, the county, the West Palm Beach as a city, recognized that there were disparities in terms of business opportunities for minority-owned businesses. So the Black Chamber...
Well, in terms of getting government
Exactly.
work. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember all that came
Yes.
up a couple years ago.
And that was very hot a few
huge.
years ago.
Yeah.
And so the Black Chamber was one of those groups that was heavily involved in the advocacy. And as I'm sure you know, there are programs now within all of those groups that are there to benefit and assist and try to, give opportunities where perhaps in the past that would have been denied.
Wow, that must have been like really crazy. Because I remember y'all were pushing back against the city of West Palm. I remember, not just y'all, the chamber, but
That's true.
the county. And I actually, when I used to work for a state senator, and I remember going to one of those sessions, and push.
Yeah, that's a good way to characterize it. But at the end of the day, I think God was on our side, and we did have friends within all of those municipalities and organizations that I think were geared up and ready to do the right thing.
So, I don't know how to ask this question. One thing that I've often wondered about is, do you have a sense of what makes a given black person want to be in business as opposed to just getting a job? Do you have any sense of that? And I don't know if it's different, between like across the diaspora or not. And the reason I'll tell you why I'm asking this
Right.
is because as an African American, one of the things that I always heard was that integration killed our black businesses, killed our black schools, killed our black neighborhoods, and it wasn't necessarily good for us. But I don't know. I'm just wondering if have do you have any?
Thoughts about that?
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm asking a question.
No,
or
no, no.
not,
You're
but-
asking a very good question, and it's a multi-layered question because you threw some history in there too. I saw that. But I think probably the greatest predictor of whether or not somebody will be or have that entrepreneurial spirit, I think, is the examples that they see growing up. I think that if you have parents who are business owners who include you in their business, bring you to work, and you see what it means to own and operate your own business, I think that leads to inspiration that when that child gets older, they're probably never going to want to work for somebody else because they saw their parents do that. So I think to your
That's a good point.
Perhaps during times of segregation when a lot of things were more insular in that sense, that I could see there being many more black businesses during that time, and those examples I think probably led to why there were so many more businesses as the generations went along.
As we kind of said, you know what, this isn't cool, right? Yeah,
right,
yeah.
indeed.
And even you as a Jamaican, as a Caribbean, I think y'all have remained more focused on opening, having your own businesses and stuff to this day than perhaps African Americans have.
Yeah, I'll be frank with you. I don't know of a distinction between, I guess, among the diaspora in that sense. I
Yeah.
will say that there's something about being an immigrant, perhaps that you may be more inclined to try to open a business, but that's just really me being anecdotal about what I've
Right.
seen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not
Yeah.
aware of statistics that have really backed that up.
Okay, I see.
Hmm.
All right, so tell me, let's talk about you for a minute.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious. What interested you in the law?
So I've told this story to a few people. So I actually attended Florida State University, the College of Business.
How old were you when you moved here from Jamaica?
I was 11
Oh,
when I came here, and I actually first moved to Boynton Beach before moving down south to the Fort Lauderdale area.
oh, okay.
And I later came back to Palm Beach in about 2008. But in the Florida State College of Business program, one of my business law professors actually wrote on one of my assignments, you should really consider going to law school.
Wow.
And
Because
I guess what he saw in my assignments and how well I did. And I remember having some conversations with my mother about, what did she think about that advice? And she said, well, back in the day, you did say that when you were younger. And that sparked that interest. I actually was majoring in essentially computer science within the College of Business. So I wasn't on the path to becoming a lawyer, but that seed that person planted made me think about it. And
that's what I was going to
that
ask
brought
you.
me.
I can't imagine if somebody had written that on my paper, I would have been like, oh.
But that's what brought me there, and I think it's been a blessing because I've been able to do a few good things along the way.
Okay, and on that note, I'm just kind of curious.
Sure.
What's your take, from an attorney's perspective on this George Floyd matter? You got
Yeah,
anything to say on that?
Yeah, I'll say.
Or I don't know if you could look at it as an attorney or
No,
have
I
to
think I
as a
look at it
black
first
man.
as a human being. I mean, if you, I watched the video as hard as it was to watch. I watched all of it, and just on a pure human level, I think it was probably one of the most dehumanizing things that I'd ever seen. And the fact that it was out in plain view, and I'm sure the people who were taping and witnessing probably felt powerless against the power structure to be able to assist this man. And, let's just say I hope that justice is served. I know that the officers involved were arrested. I know that it's in the hands of a special prosecutor, but I won't get excited until the process is actually complete and their convictions in that particular case.
So, have you been participating in any of these protests against, police brutality and racial injustice?
Fact, there was one organized in Riviera Beach that various groups, professional groups, the Black Bar, the Black Chamber was among the groups. It was a the Black Medical Society here. I mean,
really?
There were a lot of groups involved.
Was this the one that went over the bridge, or
no? I know the one you're talking about. That was probably days before the one that I attended.
Okay.
We walked, in or around Riviera Beach, and in fact, the Riviera Beach police chief is one of my fraternity brothers, and he was a part of that march.
That's right.
Actually, he marched with us. So
interesting.
It was a good opportunity to get out there. But as you know, marching is one thing, but actually advocating and making change is something completely different.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. Did you have your fist in the air?
I probably did at some point. I think everybody there probably did.
Well, and I just wonder, when I had a couple of the protest organizers here on the station, and it was interesting to see they were the main ones are of Haitian descent.
Right.
So, and I thought that was really interesting, even though they didn't have an accent as you do not. But I'm just curious.
Why are you calling me out?
Huh?
I'm playing. You gotta bring it out. The right person gotta bring it out.
But I just wonder. Do you is there any difference to you about being, Jamaican in America, even with all the stuff that you're doing? No,
I've lived in the U.S.
Majority of your life.
Majority of my life. And I know we talked before about this. I think one of the mistakes that is often made by some of us really is we look for distinctions within our group when the reality is if we were united and we saw where we're in it together, if we focused on that, we would be able to make change. So I reject a lot of the differences that people try to put on us. Yes, there are cultural differences that inform who we are as people, but the reality is we're all in it together, whether you're from Jamaica, some other island in the U.S. And I'll say this, we're definitely, as immigrants, wherever you're from.
And even African Americans are immigrants.
Exactly. We benefit from the struggle that and the work that's been done. So, I give credit to whoever put the work in, for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to business for a minute, but let's break up the diaspora here in Palm Beach County. And give us a sense, Attorney Smith, of which population of us, those of us in the African diaspora, those of us who own the most businesses in Palm Beach County. Is it African Americans? Is it you Caribbean blacks? Is it Native Africans? I'm just curious.
Yeah, and
can y'all tell? Because the reason I ask is again because of this notion that somehow we're different.
Right.
So,
and I've never read a study, particularly one that's localized, about ownership across the diaspora.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be in a position to say, this percentage would be Jamaican, this percentage. I could tell you just in my goings and comings here in Palm Beach, I would say it's pretty diverse across the board, but I don't have a sense of the breakdown there.
So, all right, and you already said, there's no real categories of types of businesses that are most common for us. Because I was thinking it would be restaurants.
I think restaurants is pretty common. I would say the most definitive thing I can tell you is that we fall primarily within the small business category, and a variety of products and services within there. Professional services, you name it. Accountants, lawyers, doctors, people that sell all types of products, you name it.
Mm-hmm. And then, okay. Tell us what the benefit is to joining the chamber.
So I was mentioning before, if you join the chamber, you will get opportunities to network with other black businesses. I can tell you, as a person who's a black person in business in Palm Beach County, I seek out all opportunities that I can to meet with other business owners. And not every interaction that you have will necessarily result in business, but somebody may give you, some piece of information, some best practice that you might be able to employ. So, I don't look at every interaction as being something that will necessarily result in business. And, we're looking forward, as I assume the presidency next year, I'm going to be looking at ways to enhance what we offer to our membership. One of the things that I've talked to my board about is, perhaps when you join the chamber, we might want to give folks a card, a membership card that will entitle them to a discount if they spend it at a black business.
Oh, that's an idea.
So that's something I've been thinking about, and I think that's something that I think we can implement, and it would be good both from the consumer side and from the business side. So I'm looking at that.
And so did your board receive that?
I think it was well received. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the things that we'll have to do in the challenge, which is created by some of your questions here, is we're going to have to try to identify as many black businesses as we can and get them signed up, avail them of all the benefits that we have, and then we can include among that, the outreach that we can, present this card and get this discount if we use it.
Yeah, and see, and that was the thing too that I noticed. I was trying to, I was really trying to put my hands on how many black-owned businessts are there in Palm Beach County. It was very hard.
It is hard.
I still don't know.
And there are organizations that, attempt to,
Yes, lots of them.
categorize and there are all types of local groups here that may have their own slice of the pie, but the Black Chamber should ultimately be the resource. And where I hope we can get to is you go to our website, and our website does allow some of this now, where you can search for black businesses by categories. But the more businesses that we have loaded in, the more reflective that would be of the community.
And so when you do take the lead there, what do you want to accomplish? What's your main desire?
My main desire is that if you are a black business in Palm Beach County, that you would first and foremost see the benefit to joining the Black Chamber, and that when you join the chamber, you're going to be educated about the local issues that are perhaps maybe a hindrance to businesses here, and you will have an opportunity to work with us to provide you more opportunities to get more business. At the end of the day, the goal is to be good corporate citizens and to make money and to leave a legacy. So I think the Black Chamber is poised to be able to do that.
And you know what I really liked about what I saw on y'all's website in terms of your board, it was like all different age groups.
Oh yeah,
it was
yes.
Yeah, and I really like old like my dad, young like my sister,
Yeah, it's
Not like
we have a board that's made up of folks in variety of practices, people in the government, people in small businesses, people in the newspaper industry,
yeah.
nonprofits, myself as legal counsel. So the board is really made up of a dynamic group, and listen, we always are interested in talented people that might want to contribute, whether it be on the board or to serve on a committee or simply just to join the chamber.
All right, we're just about out of time. Grasford Smith, the soon-to-be president of the Black Chamber of Palm Beach County. Thanks so much for joining us today to talk about Black Business Month specifically and Black business generally.
Yes.
Let folks know how they can reach you.
Yes, you can reach me actually at grasford.smith@acreman.com. That's the best way to reach out to me. You could also go to the Black Chamber website where you'll see all of the board members, and you'll also be able to contact them as well. I want to thank you.
What's the website address?
It should be blackchamberpbc.com.
Okay, blackchamberpbc.com.
Yes, or just Google Black Chamber of Commerce Palm Beach, and it will be the first thing that pops up. And I just wanted to thank you for this show and the service that you're performing for the community. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you the past few days, and I look forward to what you're going to be doing.
God
going
bless
forward.
you.
God bless you as well.
Yes, and before we close, I think I have 1 minute. I just want to share with y'all one business-related event that's coming up on 2 days this month, August 21st and 22nd. There will be a local virtual discussion in celebration of Black business at the annual National Black Economic Conference, which will be hosted by West Palm Beach Mayor Keith James and will feature a 2-day online forum with panel discussions, keynote speakers, breakout sessions, and a, quote, Buy Black virtual expo to showcase the local Black business community. This event happens annually. It had been named the South Florida Economic Forum, and it's organized by the Mosaic Group and the Urban League of Palm Beach County. For more information, call 561-651-9565 or send an email to info@upscalebymosaic.com or visit the website nationalblackeconomicconference.com. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're closing out on Coco Chats for the day. I am your host, Marian Dozier, and we will be, as I said, every Wednesday this month, we will have a local small Black business person come in and talk about what their experiences are like every single day. And then maybe we'll put them in touch with Attorney Smith.
That's right. Get him over to me.
All right, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Great job. Thank you.
Have a
Okay, good. Commercials on. That was
Oh,
good.
I hope
You
I-
did 30 minutes
Did
straight?
I? Yeah.
That was 30 minutes. You're fine.
But did you hear him well? Because I was kind of.
I wasn't hearing, but did you?
I had
did
people
you
text
hear
me.
him?
Huh?
You had those two on?
Oh,